My name is Serra Titiz. I'm a social entrepreneur. I'm the founder of Mikado Sustainable Development Consulting and the Future is Brighter Youth Platform. My career started at my family business on textiles. Then it shifted to one in the civil society. So this shift belongs to a bet I made in 2003. When I started to work at the Community Volunteers Foundation, Toplum Gönüllüleri Vakfı. I made a bet and stood for creating a life where I would work for the community, a life for profit optimization and not maximization. I decided to work at the third sector when it was not as common as it is today, and it was a challenge for me to face this because most of my friends were searching for companies that to earn more money. But I was more radical. I decided to make a career on the third sector. I made a bet to have a life in the civil society, and this bet actually prevailed, and I never looked back and started to organically build my own path. I worked at the civil society with youth, with women, and with vocational groups. This is how I accumulated an expertise by working with people, by engaging different stakeholders to yield social impact. And this experience led me to build my own initiative in 2007. I had to make another bet because I had a model in mind which didn't exist. A social enterprise, a social company that would work for the community and that would craft models that would serve for sustainable development. A company that would work with the private sector, with the NGOs, with the academic institutions, and with the public sector. A company that would use their resources to answer social needs. A company that would create partnerships and use these partnerships and these resources to generate social impact. And people around me told me that I should concentrate on one thing. I can't do all these together. But I insisted on stakeholders' collaboration and collective impact, an organization that creates awareness on institutions and gets them serve sustainable development. This would be our difference and our model. So I made a bet on that, on this model. Today, we work with many companies, with many NGOs, academic institutions, and international organizations. It's been 6.5 years that this company lives. And in 2012, this company became the first and only B Corp in Turkey. We've generated many different models, if we go back to that slide, with different companies, like the Koç Holdings Meslek Lisesi Memleket Meselesi project, like Anadolu Efes, like human rights projects in the private sector, with the civil society organizations, like impact measurement with the NGOs. In 2012, this company became the first and only B Corp in Turkey, Benefit Corporation. And last year, in 2013, we were selected among the best for the world companies out of 900 companies that are B Corps in the world. So it was very difficult to execute this model since in Turkey there are no mechanisms that support social enterprises and social entrepreneurs. So I had to be innovative and find other resources for myself to finance this company. But at its 4th year, it started to make profit. I made a bet. So I had to succeed, and I had to lead the way to other initiatives, to be a model for other social enterprises. This organization gave birth to many different community development models, and one of these models is the Future is Brighter Youth Platform. Gelecek daha net. I had this idea at the time I was establishing Mikado. I had no money, but I had the vision and I had the dream to bring into life a youth platform that would help youth make better and more informed choices about their lives. I claimed that technology should be at the core of this initiative that would enable knowledge and experience sharing equally with everyone without any time and space restriction. I knew it would work because I worked with youth, and I myself faced similar difficulties when I was younger. So I made a bet on the internet. This was the only way to reach thousands of youth, to enable easy volunteering, sharing, and internet is the most common medium for youth to access information and to socialize everywhere in Turkey and the world. I also made a bet on youth. I wanted to create a platform to equip them to unzip their potential and get them become more proactive leaders of their lives. They are the future, and the world needs them to better itself. This would be the wisest investment if you are devoted to make a change and serve sustainable development as a social entrepreneur. More than half the population in Turkey is under the age of 30, and 70% of the university graduates don't do the profession they studied. And youth unemployment is 18% in Turkey. And there's such an economic inefficiency, and most of youngsters are disappointed and unhappy in their lives. They're left alone, they're not guided well enough, and they have to be contented with what they hear and with theoretical information and education. On the other hand, professionals, who are the other stakeholder of this big problem, are searching for the right employees. But they are disconnected with youth. There are some programs in Turkey that support youngsters, especially in big cities, big universities, and private universities, especially foundation universities. But it's not accessible to everyone, and it's not everywhere for all youth. So I realized that this is valid enough, all this is valid enough to go through this path and build an online and offline platform for youth development in Turkey. Throughout this path, I also realized that this is not just valid for Turkey, it's also valid at many parts in the world. There are many different countries approaching us right now, especially countries like Spain, Portugal, Greece, Egypt. They're also very much interested in this kind of a network. So what do we do at Gelecek Daha Net, GDN? This is a platform to equip young people with innovative modules, with online and offline tools that help young people make better informed decisions about their lives. What kind of tools are these? This is a database of information, actually, and people. It's a great community and network, and it's growing every day. This platform these modules include videos, many different types of videos, online mentoring, trainings, online trainings, coaching, which has recently started, webinars, forums, workshops. It's a volunteering platform where professionals and youth meet and share. Professionals contribute with their expertise, and youth contribute with their needs. Both of these stakeholders help and contribute to improve the system. Think like that. A youngster studying at Diyarbakır Dicle University today, for example, and wants to know about a profession in practice. This platform enables this youngster to meet a high-level professional in Turkey or elsewhere, for example, in Switzerland, working at PNG, let's say, we have a mentor, and he or she can spend an hour one-to-one meeting and ask all kinds of questions devoted to him or herself. So this platform is making this real and bringing this privilege to these young people. Today, without having made any PR campaign yet, we will soon, we have reached 1,000 youngsters from 85 academic institutions and 400 volunteers from 45 sectors. We have a very professional admin system structure where we can report, monitor, and evaluate all the modules and all the system that exists in the platform. Our targets are high. We want to reach 500,000 youth. We want to have 1,000 active volunteers. We want to replicate the system, which is possible, and scale it to an international level. We want to become a reference point for youth in Turkey and the world soon, hopefully, and become an opinion leader. So now I'm betting on this. Do you think we can? My plan wasn't to be a social entrepreneur. I didn't even know who a social entrepreneur was when I started my journey. But it turned out to be a story of social change, a story of serial social entrepreneurship. At the very beginning, I made a bet on building a meaningful life for myself, but then this became a life that I found myself living in, and it became a space that I'm expressing myself. Thank you.